terms of Maricopa County status, the air quality is actually currently in compliance with EPA's health-based standard. But we say that we're on a very narrow margin of safety in terms of our compliance, meaning that over the entire year, we're almost at a point where we could go unhealthy. And so because we're looking at growth factors, because we want increasing economies, and we want to make sure that we're also doing what we can on our environmental aspects of things, we can't sit back and just sit idly and watch things, hoping that we're guaranteed future success with healthy air. Healthy air is worth guarding. Our monitors, as I mentioned, are very close. And the worst time of year for these kinds of soot concentrations actually occur over the next 2 weeks during our holiday season. Last year, we had one day in particular that was so bad that it counts almost as having 2 weeks of bad air quality for just a single day's exposure. So that counts quite a bit as we start to think about whether or not our air quality is actually healthy and whether or not we're exposing our citizens to higher concentrations of air pollution than are considered healthy. Not only are there economic impacts from public health issues where someone's sick and can't come to work and loses productivity, or might have to stay home and be a caretaker for someone who's sick, but we also have the potential for new additional regulations. If EPA has defined our air quality to be out of compliance with its health-based standards, we're going to have to start looking at developing a plan to clean up the air, which will require new laws, new expensive controls, new other types of requirements to really reduce and protect the people, reduce air pollution, protect people's health from those particular conditions. So the question that comes up often is, how do we know it's wood smoke? Well, our friends at Maricopa County's Air Quality Department and their scientists did quite a bit of effort this last year, collecting samples on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, and looking at the chemical fingerprints of the air pollution that we collected. And those chemical fingerprints really point directly to wood smoke being the preponderance of what's collected. Not the only thing that's collected, but certainly the majority of what's collected during that particular time period. And as we've seen, and history is our greatest teacher, wood burning activities and our worst concentrations are a function of the day of the week and the time of the year, not of the actual temperature that we are outside. The coldest days of our year last year had some of the lower concentrations. It was those weekend days where the festive activities and the family nature of being around a fire and having stories passed back and forth were really the pieces that drove us into the areas we had and at our highest concentrations. So what does it mean for this year? Well, ADEQ has a number of meteorologists. We work on doing forecasts for the long range, and we've looked at the 7-day forecast for Christmas. What we're expecting to see is a lot of high pressure again next week. That translates into more inversion, which traps the smoke closer to the valley floors, which creates other problems, and obviously creates the conditions that we see that are likely to call for no burn days. And so while we will wait for the forecast and those no burn days will be called in advance of the days, you can expect that Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, and New Year's Day will likely be no burn days because of the fact that historically those are our worst days and the weather systems seem to